This is an urgent message from the Ministry of Silly Talk. Please stay tuned for further instructions.
Folks, head on over to shirtcaviar.com. We got a wide selection of shirts for every occasion. We got a cheat sheet, get the yayo. We got a F them kids, a perfect and amazing holiday stocking stuffer. We got disrespect the rich. We got anything is possible. We got rose-headed hoe with caviar on the side. And we have one of the most popular summer shirts, the Beach Please. All of these and more at shirtcaviar.com. And make sure you use code OGA for 10% off your order.
There is an epidemic of mass murder being committed by a virtual army of unidentified assassins. Stay inside their homes behind locked doors. Murder victims show evidence of having been partially devoured by their killers.
Welcome. One Gram. Welcome to the
One Gram Army podcast.
Thank you for listening to my daddy's stupid podcast. And remember, his head is full of doo-doo, so don't listen to anything he says.
Are you recording? Yes. Hey everybody, Generals, welcome to the One Gram Army podcast. He's back. Josh is back. I meant to ask you if you would prefer a different moniker, like if you want a general name to be used instead.
The thing
I try
is,
not to use people's full names because I think there's a point in that.
Yeah,
but,
well, I'm Josh, though.
Yeah.
Like everyone's always known me as Josh.
Yeah.
Even when you describe me to someone who doesn't know me, you're like, yeah, it's this guy, Josh. And then you describe me. And then when they see me, they're like, oh, that's the fucking guy.
Josh. Yeah. That is absolutely correct. Yeah. Well, it's the same thing being called Graham. It's like people have tried to give me nicknames, but they don't ever stick because my name's weird. Like,
well, and also, the only nicknames that are going to work for you are rap group nicknames.
Yeah.
G-Unit, G-Easy, you know what I'm saying?
So many people call me G-Unit. It's always girls, and it always makes me be like, you're on thin ice.
Yeah. And it always makes you realize that they don't really know you.
Yeah, exactly. Well, and then the graham cracker is always laying around out there. But every time somebody hits me with that, it doesn't bother me, I swear. But I always like to remind people when they call me graham cracker, I'm like, hey, you and the kid I went to kindergarten with
have the same level of humor.
Yeah, you guys are both right there.
Yeah,
right? You guys are eye to eye on that one.
Well, see, my name is so fucking, especially with my age, is so normal, right? Everyone, when I went to high school, there were probably 9 guys in my age named Josh.
Yeah.
So everybody went by like initials. Mine was JB. Everyone called me JB for years.
Yeah, that makes sense.
You know, but then JB almost became like an alternate personality, where it was like when I was doing dirt and I was a fucking scumbag, that was JB. But when I was being all right, I was Josh.
Yeah.
You know,
Oh, that's something else I need to tighten up. Sorry, I don't mean to cut you off because this is another thing I need to get better about the intro is plugging things and actually like beginning the show. But I do like just firing it off because I do have ads at the beginning for all the stupid stuff I have going on. But I also do like to remind people to visit shirtcaviar.com and use promo code OGA to save 10% on your order. Get over there and shirt yourself. And then the Gut Feast cartoon is still up on this very same YouTube channel. And I'm working on another cartoon that will be better than that one. Because I will tell you, making a cartoon, I don't know how to make a cartoon. So what I did doesn't follow any, like it doesn't.
Yeah, I was having a hard time following what was going on.
Yeah.
I was respecting the artistic attempt. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you were doing stuff that I couldn't do, but like if it wasn't Graham who made it, I would have been like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah, no, well, because there's a couple of them that like, there's the one that Tony's in, technically, like I made him like a little guest star, like where he walks from the store back and he's like oblivious to what's going on. That one kind of worked. The one with the cop gets a little wonky because I put a dream sequence in there and there's no dialogue. But all of that being said, it was essentially, I just wanted to be like, it's proof of concept. Like,
I think a little addition of some narration, maybe. Mm-hmm. You know, narration and a cool voice. You know, and almost make it like the guy who did the previews back when we were kids. You know.
Yeah.
In a world.
Yeah, something.
You know, whatever.
Yeah, well, because I'm not at the. I'm not at the point where I can like animate with dialogue, so I did a lot of show don't tell, and like the sound effects were important. But yeah, anyway, there's another cartoon I'm working on. Where I've like upped the resolution. I've spent, because that's the other thing too, is I would get really proud of an animation and then play it real slowly. Like I didn't know I was doing it because I'd be like, oh, look at that thing I did. But like it needs to
it needs to move the story.
Yeah, it needs to go move along here.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
You just don't need to be going there.
Yeah. Well, and also too, the new ones I'm doing are like real short and like, and again, like the one I'm working on right now has narration. Like I've solved a lot of the problems, but you know, you got to start somewhere.
Oh, of course. I couldn't do it. I'll tell you
and
that.
It's also, keeps me out of these streets.
There you go. These Warner Robin streets are pretty
keeps
tough.
Me out of these streets, baby. But yeah, so go check all that stuff out, and thank you for joining us, Generals. And okay, now we can start, and we already did.
All right, so now we're started.
Now we're started.
Now it's official.
Yeah, now we're really in it.
We got the ad reads out of the way because this studio is paid for in part by Shirt Caviar.
Yep, absolutely. Don't forget to visit.
Go shirt yourself at shirtcaviar.com.
You guys know the deal. Oh, and then listen to Pod Caviar wherever you get podcasts. Let's take a look at something here. I think we just get the juices flowing. It is not to break the fourth wall too much, but here at the Ministry of Silly Talk, it is currently 7 o'clock on a Sunday, and we are aging men, so it's hard to avoid the NPR energy sometimes.
Yeah. We really are trying not to get political here.
Yeah. Well, it's also like, thank you for joining us here on this Sunday evening. Have you ever seen the Orson Welles champagne commercial? That's a pretty good one.
I have not.
Oh, welcome.
Yeah,
there's
so much I haven't seen.
This is a mainstay around here. So
Turn camera.
Orson Welles obviously was like a famous actor, and he kind of got blackballed by Hollywood. He's known for have you ever heard the story about him reading War of the Worlds on the radio?
Yeah,
and it caused like a
became
panic.
an issue. It was a radio thing. They thought there was
and they thought it was real
invasion.
Yeah, there were people who thought it was really a.
People were really smart back in the 50s.
I think that was even in like the 20s or something. But
so even smarter.
Yeah, but this guy though. Essentially, like, he kind of got blackballed by Hollywood, blah, 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 but he had this famous run of these commercials he did for this really cheap champagne, and these are like outtakes from him trying to do the commercial, and he is tanked.
Oh, he looks wasted. I just saw them
just that one little picture of him. Yeah, no, he's hammered and has no idea what's going on.
He's got his head hanging,
Turn camera. 102, take one. With overlap, action please.
It's not frozen.
You guys do anything? No. Sorry. No, rolling. 102, take two.
The French champagne has always been celebrated for its excellence. There is a California champagne by Paul Masson, inspired by that same French excellence. It's fermented in the bottle.
Yeah, it's
and
Paul
like
Masson
French
champagne.
God damn. It's vintage dated.
I didn't know that was a thing.
Yeah, I didn't until I saw this either.
102, take three.
Paul Masson champagne.
Action please.
The French champagne has always been celebrated for its excellence. There is a California champagne by Paul Masson, inspired by that same
Twiddling
French
the label with
excellence.
his finger.
It's fermented
How
in
many
the bottle
bottles
and
of
like
that
the
is he
best
drinking
French
before this?
champagne.
But it's
It's
probably-
vintage dated. So Paul Masson.
He probably did they were like, would you do this commercial? He's like, give me a case of that Paul Masson
Let me get a case of that
champagne.
Paul Masson champagne.
Yeah.
there. Look at this guy sitting next to him though, like
Yeah, the poor other
The extra,
actors in it
yeah.
having to deal
by
with
that
this.
same French excellence. It's fermented in the bottle and like the best French champagne, it's vintage dated. So Paul Masson.
he looks so confused when I say cut. He's
Yeah.
like,
He was like, what did I do something wrong?
I'm doing great
Yeah.
here.
No, that's a mainstay around here. Where are you at? Oh. Dang it. He was on here. Where you at, buddy? Maybe it's you know what, it's not a soundbite, it's actually like a video clip. That stinks. I got to put it back on here because I used to use that all the time.
And it's a video clip of him saying something ridiculous.
It's just a video clip of him that I would play in a loop of him just going, "Ah, the French, ah, the French, ah, the French." It was just him doing that. Oh, I'm broadcasting my secret window there. Yeah, that's a good one. That guy. So this, though, lends itself. We were talking before we started recording, and obviously I've mentioned it ad nauseum. Excuse me. That was a really disgusting one. That tasted like kimchi, beer, and Taco Bell. Ooh. Yeah, I think it corroded this part of the microphone cable. Like I may have melted
Whatever
that.
This thing is called is sizzling.
Yeah. This, my little foam guard there is on. Yeah, it's not good. You know, actually, that's funny you mentioned that. Here's something else disgusting. during COVID, I was doing a Zoom podcast with Tony, and I don't know if it made it a podcast. It may have been a live stream we were doing, and I was, tanked, and what else were we doing during COVID?
Yeah.
And we were on a Zoom call, and I had to fart, and I was like, "This will be funny." So I turned around and farted directly into the microphone, right? And the sound on it is glorious. Like it couldn't have gone better. And I turned around and immediately sat down.
I smelled your own
shit. It just was like, I've been doing this for a while. So I sit down, and before I talk in the microphone, I go, I take a breath to speak. It's probably, dude, I didn't think about this. This is like therapy. It's probably why it took me so long to get back on the horse doing the podcast, because I would come in here and just see this microphone, and I had to, be cool. Like, I literally say, this is a metal cage with, fine metal around it and a little foam thing on it. I just filled that with fart and then sat down in front of it and was like, yeah, and it was bad, too, because, I remember it was I just breathed in my mouth, and
no good.
It was so bad.
Have you seen the fart spray videos on YouTube?
Fart spray? Oh, where people use the fart spray?
You've not seen the videos?
No, not are they prank videos?
Dude, it's the best goddamn thing ever. You got to find an old African American grandmother.
Oh no!
Yes, where they hit him with the fart spray prank, dude.
No.
It's the dumbest. I mean, we're just gonna be laughing for the next 30 minutes, here's
Angry Dad fart spray.
Great,
okay, let's see Angry Dad fart spray.
Because you can't park out the front because it's a fucking no standing zone, and I'll get fucking booked on and I'm pushing some fucking parking officer over.
Look at his face.
We're 2 minutes into the fucking trip and you shit yourself. Oh my God. That is like horse shit. Oh my fucking God. It's embarrassing. Save all your fucking shit for my car.
Oh my God, I'm actually gonna vomit.
It's like a horse shit. Now I feel fucking sick.
Oh my God.
That is like a horse fucking stable. One more. And fucking pull that fucking nose ring that hard, it'll pull your fucking head off. I'm not driving an hour with this shit in me fucking car. You're like a fucking baby. Actually, no, a baby smells fucking better. Yes, I can!
This guy is killing. We're definitely gonna revisit some more of those.
Angry Dad is great, dude.
Yeah, no, I've seen that guy. I've seen clips of that guy. I hadn't seen this fart spray one before. That's some good stuff.
No, his son fucks with him about everything, but the fart spray, dude. If you see this one, fart spray, dad and uncle. There's something about black people in their 60s or above when they hit them with the fart spray and they start cursing. It's the funniest damn thing you ever seen.
Okay, I don't need the preamble here, lady. Just do it.
I have to get up so she can get out or whatever. Right. And I be seeing you on her about 5 o'clock. I know she up early.
Right. Dude, that's what she did to me. That's what she get.
I know. I know that's right.
What she get, man. Precious.
This is making me a little nervous because this is someone else's YouTube video and it has music on it.
What else y'all got
we'll see. If I have to, if they give me a flag, I'll just cut it before I upload it.
Oh, do they do that? So you upload it and then they tell you if it's going to be flagged?
Yeah, you can run checks on it once it's uploaded before you actually make it public.
Yeah, get to where he's got his face crunched up.
And you a woman. Women don't supposed to smell like that.
No, you know goddamn well I got a weak stomach.
This lot, man. Let me out of here.
Dude, what the fuck is that?
Oh, she's still hitting him with it too. Dang. Dude, that stuff's super strong.
I've never smelled it.
That stuff's super strong.
There's some video on here of some girl doing it with her mom in the car, and her mom's going, Morgan! Some country ass lady.
Yeah, but there's a, we used to, I don't know, you had to be a real little shit to remember these, but we used to buy them at this, it was like a costume shop, that sold all kinds of weird little like remember the store remember in Pee-wee's Big Adventure that weird story goes in and he's buying like weird gum and stuff.
I haven't watched that shit since I was little.
But so this is like these used to be a thing. It predates it's not like Spencer's,
but this is a joke shop.
Yeah, essentially. Yeah, it's a joke shop basically. And
rubber chickens and whatnot.
Exactly. Yeah. See, there's a rubber chicken in here still that I have from my youth. Yeah, and actually, you don't want to trip over any wires or anything, but anytime you're bored, you reach over there and squeeze that guy. But and also don't forget you have sound effects over there to play with too. If you ever, it'll be, see, once you get into the vibe of that, once we get flowing here,
timing
all of that
the
is
important thing to me is the timing.
Yeah, you're gonna be right at home with all this nonsense, and eventually I need to figure out a way for you to have access to the soundboard and all that. But that's neither here nor there. We used to buy these. They used to sell these glass vials that had this like neon green liquid in it. They were stink bombs, but they were glass.
See, when I was a kid, they had stink bombs.
Pull that microphone up just a little closer to you.
When I was a kid, we had stink bombs, but they were like almost like a firecracker. You had to light it.
Ooh,
yeah.
I don't think I ever saw one.
Dude,
of those.
And it was whatever.
That's nice. I like that.
Whatever the material was, it stunk.
Yeah.
You had a
just a little wick sticking out of it.
And you'd light it, and then it would just start sizzling, and the sizzling would create the smell.
Ooh.
And it would just melt this whole ball of sulfur or whatever the fuck it was.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, because that's.
But I mean, the thing would take over the whole hallway of the school.
Yes.
Like if some dumbass did it, it would fuck up the whole hallway.
Yeah. So that's what these were, but these were like little glass vials they were in real thin glass, and they had this green liquid. And
so you'd smash them.
Yeah, so you could just throw them, or really what the trick was to wrap it in a paper towel and then set it down and step on it.
Okay.
And then walk away, because if you just stomped it real quick, you wouldn't get it on your shoes, and it would take a minute to soak through the paper towel. But
so you'd be away before it stunk.
Yeah. But it was also, the glass too was so thin that it was fun to like be walking like perpendicular to a hallway and just chuck it.
Oh no.
You know, and then just keep walking, like just because it was real little, you could just flick it like a cigarette butt. But yeah, like you said, those would like destroy a school hallway. Like it'd be ruined for an hour.
Oh, destroy.
You know? Yeah. But those, so I've only smelled fart spray once, but it smells quite a bit like those did, and like she was like hitting them.
Oh, dude, I've seen the videos where they are just pumping it, and the people are like, "What the fuck is going on here?"
But.
Did you do a senior prank at all when you were a kid, like at high school? Was that a thing for you guys?
No, we didn't. I did one of my own. I actually, as much shit as I got in high school, and of all the crazy shit I did, I got suspended once in high school, and it was on the last day of my senior year of high school.
Oh, no.
Because I came to school with a backpack that I had put a water gun inside of and cut a hole in the bottom of it, like I'd rigged it up like some kind of like Russian spy situation.
So you could shoot it without people knowing?
Yeah, so I could, and it was also full of water balloons. So like the plan was at the end of the day, I was gonna like light up one of the hallways on the way out, or hit everybody, go out to where all the people were smoking and like hit everybody up.
Yeah.
I'm an idiot, obviously, and was much more so an idiot at that age. So I couldn't wait. So in between in between first and second period, I lit up a hallway like Columbine with water. Like I had my backpack on the front and was just like heaving water balloons into crowds of people and like spraying the water gun out of my backpack like up over everybody. I soaked like a whole hallway, and then obviously you don't think ahead of time because we had security guards at our high school, and so obviously somebody told them like, hey, Graham did this. The security guards knew who I was. They were familiar with me and my friends. So I remember I went into my next class and the teacher wasn't in there yet, and I literally got up on the desk and like stuffed my backpack up into the drop ceiling again, as if this room isn't filled with people.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Just operating under the assumption
that
nobody's
going to
say anything or any of that. I slide it up in there, and the security guard just like I get done and I sit down. The security guard comes in, and I think about it from time to time what he must have thought, because he came over. I'm sitting at the desk. I have dust and white shit all over me from moving a drop panel. The ceiling on a panel on a drop ceiling probably hadn't been moved in 50 years.
In a public school.
Yeah. And then I'm sitting there and water starts dripping directly onto the center of my desk.
Trying to do your work?
Yeah. I was like sitting there and water's like dripping directly on the center of my desk. So obviously the jig was up at that point. And then things did not go well from that point. I didn't get to walk the stage.
That's so stupid.
I know,
had a
right?
fucking water gun.
Yeah.
Listen to what we did. Okay.
Yeah. See, and that's what I'm saying though, is I was upset that there was no senior prank, so I was like, I'm going to take it upon myself.
Well, see, okay, we come from the era, right, where you're watching Saved by the Bell and all, Fast Times at Ridgemont High or whatever.
Oh yeah, you want to do it.
You think in your brain, this is what you do.
Yeah.
When you're a senior and it's almost over,
you
do something fucked up.
You endanger somebody.
And you're learning from AC Slater, so you're like, we can steal Mr. Belding's car. You know what I'm saying? Like, we can do whatever we want, right? All right, so me and my boys are over at my friend's house. Right?
Yeah.
We're like smoking a joint or something in the garage, whatever, and we're trying to come up, and it's like the last week of school. We're like, yeah, we got to do something. We're badasses.
Yeah, you got to do
something.
something. Yeah.
And his dad is a firefighter.
Right.
And he's sitting there chilling with us, you know what I mean? And his dad, his garage is full of tools and whatnot. And he pulls out this stuff called liquid nail. He goes, boys,
Oh, no. Here, pull that microphone up a little bit, just so you're talking into it. It'll start sagging as you go. I don't mean to cut you off, but we are recording it.
Boys, if this right here can make any lock useless.
No.
Now, in his head, he's probably thinking, we'll go do one or two doors.
Right. You may do one teacher's door or something.
Maybe.
No harm, no foul.
Go to the trailer out back where the fucking kids go and do that door. Ha, ha, ha. Or the gate. No. We went to Walmart and got 5 tubes of liquid nail. Some bacalavas and the whole deal.
No.
And snuck onto the school property at 2 o'clock in the fucking morning.
Oh.
And there was like 9 of us.
Yeah.
So we spread out every single lock, padlocks, to get into the field house and the kitchen area.
Yeah.
Every lock on the front door. Jump fences. And this is 1999.
Yeah.
So there's no surveillance. There's no. So we're doing.
If there's a camera, it's like a blurry black and white
CCTV
picture. Yeah, it's a black and white picture that they take every like 50 seconds. Yeah.
So we literally hit every door at this high school. This high school has like 1,200 students. It's a big place.
Yeah.
Every door, every outside building, every auxiliary door. So then we just show up the next day.
I'm too old to enjoy this story this much.
Yeah, I know. So we show up to school the next day, right?
That does sound like fun.
The only time we're ever on time for school because we want to see what's happening.
See what's
so
going
we show up and the fire department is there, taking the doors off the fucking frame, and the dude's dad is there, and he's looking at us like, you fucking idiot. But he can't say anything because he's the one that told us to do this shit.
Yeah, it was his idea.
So I get, the rumors go out that who did it, right?
Yeah.
So Miss Buck, our assistant principal, comes to me, and, I didn't give a fuck about anything. I didn't care. I didn't want plan on going to college.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So Buck's like, Josh, come in the office. So we're sitting there, and back then you had the Rolly thing with the box TV and the VCR.
Oh.
She had a tape in her hand. Now, I knew for a fact there was no tape.
There was no tape.
Yeah. So she's fucking with me. I got you on tape. Just admit it, and nothing will happen. if I put this tape in and see you doing that, you're not going to graduate. Mm-hmm. I said, I'm graduating with honors.
Yeah.
I was an all-state football player, but you're telling me that if I'm okay, let's watch it.
Yeah, put the tape on.
She's like, no, you don't understand. I said, I do understand, Buck.
Yeah.
I understand fully. Let's watch it.
Yeah, because it ain't there.
And she's just refusing, so I pushed it in myself.
Yeah.
Fern fucking Gully is the tape that she had loaded in the VCR. I said, I thank you, Buck, and I left.
Yeah.
When I walked on graduation, the principal shakes my hand. He goes, you owe the school $15,000.
Yeah, because that's a lot of locks. That probably was expensive.
No, it was very expensive, and it was one of those things that just gets out of hand. You don't realize you're dumb, you're young, you don't know what you're doing. I mean, we loved it. It was great.
Have you ever seen that Simpsons episode where Bart is like, let's all turn our desks around backwards? Have you ever seen that?
No.
Let me see if I can find this clip, because it's definitely worth it. I'm sure it's on here. Yeah, so this was essentially my experience with the prank I did by myself.
1 o'clock, and you know what that means. That's right. It's time for our field trip
this is
to
them
the
licking
chocolate
envelopes.
factory.
Where's the damn thing where he turns his desk around backwards?
Slips.
Where? Anyway, there's a scene in The Simpsons.
And it's obvious that he did it. And he's
well, no, because he's like, the teacher's not there, and he's like, hey, guys, let's all turn our desks around backwards. So when the teacher comes in, we're facing the wrong way, and he turns his desk around backwards. It's like a close shot on him, and he's like, ha, ha, ha. And the teacher walks in, and she's like, Bart, what are you doing? And it pans out, and he's the only one facing the wrong way. Yeah. Story of my life.
Yeah,
but definitely was the case with my high school prank.
Senior prank?
Yeah, because because we floated all kinds of stuff about chickens, and there's always that like rumor where it's like
you let sheep out or goats or whatever.
Yeah. Well, and they would be like, you let you get 3 sheep and you number them 1, 2, and 4, so they're always looking for 3. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like stuff that I'm sure happened at some point, but definitely never actually happened at my high school. But
it's one of those things where you think. Just pop culture makes you think that this is what the funny kids in
It's what you're supposed to do, right?
If you're the funny kid in your class, you got to do something wild.
Yeah.
You know.
And it didn't go. Yeah, like they literally like didn't let me walk for graduation.
What was so funny about ours was the whole night was like a Mission Impossible scheme.
Of course.
The guy's house that we originated at lived maybe 3 blocks from the school.
Oh, yeah. So it's a good staging ground.
Yeah, he lived behind the school, so we could do a thing where we went through this field, came up behind this factory, crossed the fence.
Yeah.
So it was a whole mission.
Nice. Yeah,
we had outfits. I mean, it was the thing. We took shits on the guys, the resource officer, Mr. Graves.
Uh-huh.
We all took shits on the doorstep of his little cabin.
Oh.
So there's like 9 different teenage shits in front of us. He was so mad. It hurt his feelings. It hurt his feelings because and we actually liked Graves.
Well, and I was going to say you probably felt bad to some extent later, like this poor guy who we actually kind of liked. That's what was messed up about mine was I remember my pops came up there because the high school I went to was so big. We had deans, every grade had their own principal kind of.
Yeah.
And then there was a principal of the school, but like you didn't really see that guy. He was like a politician. But like I remember like at my so they took me to the dean's office. My pops came up there. I had been in a ton of trouble that year already, like serious trouble, and like he would like went off on me. He was like pushing me and shit, and like I remember like we were in the hallways, like I ran from him.
Your dad?
Yeah. Like ran from him like out the school building, and it was like a passing period started, and I was like running, and like people I knew thought like who didn't know that was my dad thought he was like a teacher, so they were doing the thing where they like fill in the gaps, so you couldn't get you. So they couldn't get to me. Like it was not good, but I remember I just ran off, and because I was very familiar with the neighborhood around my high school, I just ran off out there, and eventually my pops left, and then I was walking, and a security guard who had always, been like, you're not as big an idiot as you act like you are, he was a good guy. I remember he picked me up in his little truck. And, like, he was like, I heard your name come over the radio. He was like, man, it's the last day of school, And I was like, yeah, I'm starting to think that wasn't, like, a great idea. And he said something that stuck with me that I think about real often. He goes, "You know what you had to do today? Eat cookies and drink punch." He was like, "That's what you had to do today. You didn't have to take any tests."
Nah, and that's so true. It makes you feel like a jackass.
Oh, yeah, long ear. I was like, like a cartoon. He was like, "You know what you had to do today? Eat cookies and drink punch." And that's it. He was like, "You could have done your favorite thing to do and ditched the last half of the day, and nobody would have cared. But if you did go to those classes, you could have just ate cookies and hung out."
The point that you could have just did what you wanted to do. And leave, smoke weed with your friends.
Yep.
And nothing would have happened.
Nothing.
Not a goddamn thing.
Why?
But now your dad is chasing you through the halls because you sprayed people with a fucking super soaker. You know,
I don't think it's a terrible idea to take young men who exhibit certain kinds of behaviors and like make them work for, like, I don't know, turn them into political prisoners until they're 25 or something. Do something with them, because I was there are at that age. Like, what sort of reasoning is that? Like,
no.
Yeah. I'm kidding. You don't actually send kids to a labor camp, but I'm saying like something. Because I was so stupid.
I was the same. Like I was different. Where like in high school, I played ball.
Yeah,
right?
so you had some level of immunity.
Well, I had immunity on top of I had something that I really enjoyed, that I loved to do. That was part of my personality. That I couldn't be a complete fuck off because I wanted to play ball.
Yeah, exactly.
And I was not going to the NFL, none of that. But I just enjoyed it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that was a big part of my thing. But as soon as that was over. Talking about my senior year when football was done, November.
Yeah.
Started smoking cigarettes on the reg. And I'd already smoked weed and stuff. And
Yeah.
But now it was, hell, this is what I do now.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And that it just changed. And I really became a different type of person. You know?
Yeah. No, I agree. And it doesn't help either. And it's like, and I went, like I knew I was going into the Air Force or whatever, but even that seemed like some kind of like I was like, something's gonna happen between now and then where that's not gonna happen.
That's not gonna
anyway.
work out. Well, yeah, you just have this.
Because I fuck up. I got now. This is a story for another time. Never mind. Yeah. But the reasoning ability at that age is so bonkers. And I said, I still think about that security guard being like, "Man, all you had to do today was eat cookies and drink punch. And if you didn't want to do that, you could have done anything other than what you did. Yeah. The only thing you could have done that was worse was light a fire."
Right, or actually have a real gun.
Yeah, no, I was YouTube. Edit point 3126. But yeah, no, I get what you're saying. The lack of ability to walk myself back from that.
Well, and it's so dumb when you're that age. Like,
you have no ability to see beyond the thing you're doing.
Well, and it's like the dumb shit that you're doing, let's be honest, to impress some dumbass dude or some dumbass broad.
Yes.
That's the only two. You know what I mean? Like, because you're either trying to impress kids that you want to hang out with, or you want them to think you're funny or whatever, or you want to impress some broad.
Or like I do in my life now, I do things just to like impress myself. You know what I mean? But even at that age where I was like, this will be fun to me. I'm still trying to impress a dumbass because I'm trying to impress myself.
Yeah. I'm trying to get a pat on the back by some dipshit.
Yeah, by a real loser.
Yeah.
This guy's got no direction.
This guy's got nothing going on.
Are you?
I was well versed.
We don't need to fucking practice, Randy.
How retarded are you?
Yeah.
Like, you got to ascertain that before you can deal with them. You know? On a level 1 to 10, what we talking?
Yeah, exactly. But I don't. I don't remember that finally either. I think there's a fallacy of that too. Like when you listen, there's some like successful podcasters. Because there's a truth, right, to like everything you go through makes you who you are, and especially you, like having like really dug yourself out of a very dark place, which we'll talk about further in the podcast. We don't have to lay all those cards on the table right now.
I'm 100% open to talk about whenever you want. I'll do the origin story.
We're saving that for sweeps week, baby.
That's fine. Well, because I feel like though there's somebody, and even if there's 6 people listening to this, there might be one of those 6 people who were in the depths of hell.
Yep.
And to hear somebody I was in the depths of hell.
Yeah.
I mean, more so than you even know, because we haven't even discussed the bad things.
That's what I'm saying. But
I
certainly, I can imagine, and I probably still can't imagine.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
The thing is, you know me, and you know what I'm capable of.
Yes.
On all levels.
Yeah.
So if you just think about, okay, let's think about him going down as hard as he can.
Yeah.
You know,
really turning it up to 15.
Well, and the thing about a person like me is I don't have the normal social fears that a lot of other people have.
Yes, definitely, yeah.
Maybe just because I'm too dumb. You know what I mean? I'm not saying it's because I'm cool or it makes me any better than anybody.
Well, I think it's part of why when we met, it's like being a Highlander. You know what I'm saying? It's like another horrible asshole when you meet him. And we use that term as endearment.
Oh,
I wouldn't call someone I don't like a horrible asshole.
No.
And if I introduced you, you used to do that when we would do that, like, hey, you should meet this guy. He's a horrible asshole. You're going to love him.
He's the worst person I've ever met.
You're going to love this guy.
You're going to love the shit out of him.
But no, I totally understand that. Yeah, no.
Well, and it was, not to digress, but it was like, I was always on the edge of being completely out of control.
Right. Yeah.
But for many, many years, I could hold it in. You know what I mean? But then it got to a point where I was so miserable with my day-to-day life that the window of opportunity to be an absolute psycho came, and I just took it. And then before you know it, that shit starts getting on you, and you're not realizing what you're doing. And you wake up one day, and it's been 2 years of idiocy, and you know what I mean?
I think that happens to people very quickly. I mean, it's happened to, it's not to be, I don't want to, like, make this like an Oprah episode here or anything, but I mean, it happens to me with booze sometimes. It's like, like you will get, now I'm not comparing booze and meth, obviously, but just addictive behavior. You'll get to a point where you're like you said, like you had gotten to such a level of like misery with the like mundane and like never ending like
oppression of life,
oppression of just existence, right? That it's easy to go, wow, this makes me feel good. And like you said, you just like wake up one day and you're like,
oh yeah, before you know it, it's like, oh, well, this has been several years of my life.
Yeah.
I don't have the relationships I used to have. I don't have friends anymore. I barely talk to my family, and then you look, see, what's fucked up with me is I don't have the reasons that a lot of people have. I had a great family. I had a great upbringing. I didn't have, any of whatever. Like things went well for me. Always did.
Yeah.
Nobody hit me. I wasn't abused. None of these things.
Some of it, I think, too, though, as in that is like we all have like everyone has some level of childhood trauma that they deal with in some respect, but also some of us just have the genetic code for not knowing
when to stop.
When is enough.
Well, and I think,
and some of that, and that, like, it speaks to what I was talking about like airing out the hallway with water balloons and water guns. Like, that was such a manic idea in my head.
Oh no, exactly.
You know what I mean? That was, and it was like I didn't see past it. I didn't even see the run up. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Like I didn't even see the run up to it. I didn't see past it. I didn't even see where I was getting.
You just
to
thought
I was
this
just
would be
in
awesome.
It. Yeah, this is going to be
awesome
fantastic.
when it happened, and you couldn't wait to do it.
No, yeah, because I was going to do it at the end of the day when it would have been fun and no one would have cared because it would literally, school was over. Like, the bell rang.
It would have been
we're
a
out.
laugh. Yeah,
we're out again. But I did it in between first and second period and caused like a huge scene.
At 9:45 a.m.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah, and not to mention that. Well, yeah, and not to mention that we had been drinking since like 6:30 in the morning. You know what I'm saying? Like, whatever.
But like you were saying earlier, like all the little stuff that you've done and you've experienced or whatever leads you to who you are.
Yeah.
And
there's that's what got us here. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and there's something to that because. But a lot of times people only want to say that when they're on the other side.
Yeah.
It's real easy for me to sit here 4 years sober with a successful business, hanging out with one of my best friends in the world. My kids are doing great. My family's doing great. Everything's good. Mm-hmm. So it's easy for me to say, well, everything that happened was great, and it happened for a reason so I could get here to this spot.
Yep.
But 5 years ago, when I was at the bottom of the fucking barrel, everything that had happened had led to that spot, which was garbage.
Yeah, that wasn't something worth celebrating, and it's like it's like and there's some of that too. I think that you come out the other end of, And some of it, I think, could be omitted, and it would have been cool to have not had to go through that.
Well, that's
you know
the
what
thing.
I mean?
There, if you go back and look through it,
and how many people too, though, not to cut you off, but how many people too get into that situation like you're talking about, where they're at the bottom of the barrel, and then that's it.
Oh, though that's just where they are.
That's just a wrap. Like they go there, and then they don't exist, then they die. But in that case, it's. I don't know who said it. I always attribute it to Winston Churchill, and I'm like 100% sure he never said this. But somebody once said, nobody complains about the parachutes that don't open. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like, it goes into like, especially someone like Joe Rogan or someone like that who's like, oh, well, all you got to do is get a development deal when you're 20, and then all all you got to do is just keep getting on stage and go to open mics. Eventually, you'll be a millionaire comedian
with the biggest podcast in the world,
right? But it's like, but you think that because that's how it went for you. If there are, for every one of that guy, there's 1,000 guys who worked equally hard. They didn't, because there's a bunch of people who didn't, but there's a bunch of people who worked equally hard, and it just didn't happen.
And you can also look at it from the standpoint of, you take a person like me, right? I'm not an exceptional person. I'm not special. I had issues, and I got past them.
Yep.
There's a lot of people who have issues and don't get past them. There's a lot of people who have issues that were way worse than mine and get way past them.
Yep.
And become multimillionaire people that are helping people and share, you know what I'm saying? So like I've always looked at, you can't compare yourself to other people. You just got to live your life.
No.
And, because there's been some stuff I've done that the stuff I still do that's embarrassing.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, like, embarrassing to the point where we're not going to talk about it.
Of course.
Even in a private setting.
Yeah, no, of course. We all have that kind of stuff.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
There's
definitely.
shit that I've done when I was fucked up on drugs.
Yeah, where
that
you're
I won't
I
admit
don't wanna,
to myself.
I definitely don't want to talk about this.
Yeah. But then it's like, anytime I can share with somebody that if the day sucks, tomorrow can be better.
Yeah, it is true.
And and it takes it's like, once you start, and I think a lot of drug addicts, alcoholics especially, you get this thought in your head that because what you're doing is not good for you or whatever, that you're being terrible.
Yeah.
Not everyone who's a drug addict is stealing. Not everyone who's a drug addict is doing anything inappropriate sexually. You know what I mean? Like, some people are just drug addicts. They spend their hard-earned money on drugs, and that's all. That doesn't make you a bad person. It just makes you a drug addict.
Right.
But you get this guilt in yourself that you think that you're just some piece of shit.
Well, and that becomes like a self-fulfilling. It just becomes a loop,
Well, that's the thing. Then you have no self-worth.
Yeah.
So I'm not worth anything but doing dope all day.
Mm-hmm.
And then you feel like shit about yourself. The only thing to make you feel better is that dopamine dump. You know what I mean? But you take 2 weeks and lay it down, you're like, oh, well, that was a waste of 5 years.
Yeah. No, it's crazy. But see, and that's the thing, too. That's one of those things that's easier said than done, is getting to the point where you can actually take a break for your own sanity. This has gotten, and I love it. I love it.
Well, let's go back.
And I love where this is. I love because we're literally developing the podcast back into something. So I'm enjoying all of this and telling stories. But I did notice that it got very motivational here. But I do want people to know that this is good advice for everyone. And
that goes for cocksuckers and retards.
Just to put a bow on it for you folks.
It goes for cocksuckers and retards. I mean, everyone is.
See, we let the soundboard say it so YouTube doesn't flag us for us saying.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
See, I don't know the rules.
No, sorry. It really didn't prepare you for this at all.
No, I don't know the rules whatsoever.
It's fine. Well, because it's hard to say with YouTube, right? But I've noticed that if a movie or TV show clip or a clip from a video says something crazy, I don't get flagged or anything because this is this other thing.
It's almost like you're reporting on something that happened versus you saying.
I give him the grease. I tell him to put some on his finger, stick it in his ass. So kind of like fuck yourself. Just an old penitentiary trick.
That kind of stuff. I can let the computer. We just let the computer say it.
Okay.
And that kind of stinks too, because I was thinking about it when I was playing you the Dr. Drew drops the first time you were on. Those were like heavily cultivated by me. I was literally going into these live streams and trying to get people to say my name.
Yeah.
I just wanted them to say my name. I was asking like poignant questions, like Dr. Drew. We had a little back and forth on there. He even like brought me on, invited me onto the video, and I talked to him for a minute.
Oh wow!
About quitting smoking or whatever. because people were just bombarding him with questions about COVID and like asking him to predict the future and all this stuff. Yeah, so I like hit him. I was like, "Hey, I have a question about quitting smoking," but I curated these interactions together. But now with AI, you can just do that. I could have
Yeah,
I
but
could have
same.
Elon Musk on my podcast, but it's not the same. It wasn't as much fun to
That's
get.
really cool that
Yeah.
Dr. Drew actually called you out. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like, that's like I need to find that "Are You Garbage" clip of when we went to the live show. when they
Yeah,
say my
no,
name.
I'm telling you, I can definitely get those.
God, but I don't know if I've ever been prouder of something I've done than having my question read.
I remember. Hey, you know what else is a fun thing about Are You Garbage is they went to my breakfast recommendation. I was listening to the podcast today because Toby had sent out a thing like good breakfast in Atlanta, and I was like, I just sent him a message. I was like, hey man, you can really fuck up in Atlanta at mom and pop places. Like they could be on their way up or way on their way down because it's the land of fake entrepreneurs and business owners.
of course.
So, but I was like, Another Broken Egg is a great small breakfast chain. I was like, you should check them out. And then they mentioned he was like, hell yeah, we'll go there. And they mentioned on the Patreon that they went there. And I was like, when they mentioned that they went there, I was like, do it. Say my name. Say my name. But I didn't get the shout out. I was
Toby,
like, damn
you
it.
son of a
I was like,
bitch.
Toby, give me my...
Yeah, you can do a facial now without a mask.
Because the other one I got is this Australian female comedian who also streams. She's only really famous to me, but I got her because...
One Graham Army.
It was fun listening to her say my name.
American name Graham. One Graham Army? Is that it? Is it one Graham Army or are you American? I'm supposed to be saying Graham.
So, here.
I don't get that.
Yeah, let's break this one down. Because she's not the first person from either England or Australia or New Zealand who has behaved as if if there's a different way to pronounce my name.
But they say it the same way.
Right, see, because she says, is it one Graham Army or you're American and it's supposed to be saying Graham? But I don't notice a difference in the way she says it. We'll listen to it again, actually.
Is it one Graham Army or are you American? I'm supposed to be saying Graham.
Oh, she's saying Graham. The first time she said Graham.
Is it one Graham Army or are you American? I'm supposed to be saying Graham.
She's pronouncing it phonetically the first time.
Yeah.
Where we just say Graham like a gram of...
Yeah, like G-R-A-M,
Yeah,
like there's not all the extra sound.
She's
Okay, there is a difference there.
Is it one Graham Army or are you American?
Graham,
I'm supposed to be saying Graham.
Yeah, okay. Well, I told her.
American name Graham.
American name Graham. That's great.
Yeah. Well, you pronounce it like that because where I live is...
all controlled by the white majority in America.
This is my favorite line from that video. We watched it last week, and if you've seen this podcast, you don't know about this. We'll watch it several more times in the future. But the reason this is on the soundboard is because this is my favorite sentence he says. Because there's like 15 H's that don't need to be in there.
Basquiat found it totally ironic that any African American will be a policeman.
There's hair.
Basquiat found it totally ironic that...
Totally ironic. like, yeah, I've never been able to figure that out about that video.
African American. African American.
Yeah.
So kind of like
hug
yourself.
Kind of like hug yourself.
I give him the
candy.
I tell him to put some
in his pocket.
I sent my brother the boogie in your nose song.
Oh yes.
And I told him the story, 'cause my brother's in the Coast Guard.
So
he gets
the
he thought that was the funniest
hazing
fucking thing.
aspect of it.
Yeah, he gets the fact that you're just forced to be around dipshits, so you have to do something about it.
Yeah, no, it's like living with them. It's not even just like having idiots around you at work. Yeah, boogie in the nose. That'll also go on the list. We're gonna have so much time in the future to go back through all this old stuff too. But before we wrap, in the vein of kind of sort of finding where, because a lot of episodes I want to do like this, where it's just sort of like a wiretap, where you're sitting here being nonsensical. But also, like, I like from time to time to have sort of a theme. And so something I did during the pandemic was I got really into these old employee training videos. Like, you know, when you go to...
I've worked at maybe 30 different corporate restaurants.
Yeah.
So I've seen all of these.
Yeah. And I'm telling you, so, because that's what I used to do. I would just live stream and I would just, like, comment along to these employee training videos because some of them are unhinged.
Absurd,
like, dude, some of them are crazy. So that's always an option too, is like, you know, like every few weeks we could just be like, oh, we're doing an employee training video. And to be honest, I don't know if it's a good idea for us yet, but eventually we could do those as live streams and then upload them as podcast episodes.
Yeah.
But even just as podcast episodes, it would maybe be fun to just sit and watch some of these.
Well, especially if you could watch them fresh, because I haven't, you know.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, if I don't show them to you. And also, too, when we do those, if I need to, I can give you the keyboard so you can, like, pause it as we, like, if you want to say something, like, you can pause it and keep going. You know what I mean?
Well, another thing we talked about earlier this week that we don't have time for today, but that we should bring is crack rock karaoke.
Oh, yes. Keep a feather in that, because explaining it is going to eat up the rest of the episode, and I really want to do this bit of training thing.
Sure.
But, yes, that is also coming.
Just hold your breath for crack rock karaoke.
Crack rock karaoke is going to be good. Conceptually, I'm in. I'm hoping the execution works out beautifully.
Oh, we'll figure it out.
But yeah, so this is also an option of like full episodes we can do where we sit and just jank on these employee training videos. And some of them, like this one, are riveting. So we got probably about 10 minutes left. This video is kind of long, but we'll just watch a few seconds of it just so you can kind of get the idea.
Yeah, get the gist
of what we're doing here. Because
Dick Deal was a professional shoplifter for 20 years. He was also imprisoned 5 different times for a total of 15 years.
And his name's Dick, by the way.
But never for shoplifting.
Damn, what was he doing?
Freestanding,
hard as fuck.
strip center, or mall, all the same to a thief. Not just a professional thief, mind you, but the amateur, the bored housewife, and kids as well. Stealing for some can be a business, others a hobby or pastime. Everyone, I'm sure, has their own reasons and inclinations.
Breathing.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Why this store?
He's ripping a heater in the store.
This particular store?
In the training video.
In the training video.
Why not? Take a look around. Any
Looks
greedy?
like a professional wrestler's manager.
Do the
from
people
1960s.
notice
Something. Yeah.
Do they approach you?
He looks
What
like he's
kind
put a
of
couple guys in a
merchandise do
trunk.
they have?
Are you thinking?
You know what I'm
Is
saying?
it locked up, or can you touch it?
Can
they see you, or is it hidden? All of these thoughts and questions must go through a thief's mind
Yeah,
as he
'cause see-
strolls through the store.
So what's fun about these two is it becomes sort of like a Mystery Science Theater 3000 situation where you kind of like let them do the heavy lifting, and anytime you want to interject, just jump in or be
You
like,
just
hey,
jump in,
pause
this
it
is
or whatever.
ridiculous, yeah.
But this guy is so riveting because the first time I watched
this looks like a documentary or something.
Yeah, the first time I watched this on the live stream, I remember this video specifically. I just kind of sat there with my mouth open watching it until it gets better later, like funnier. But like, I'm like, who is this guy? Like,
What is it that makes people
what
steal?
is this guy with
Money,
the extra H's?
Greed, revenge, thrills, peer pressure.
But yeah, no, he's
Better
managed a
yet,
professional wrestler
what
too. You're
makes
absolutely
people
right.
Well, I can literally
steal?
see this guy reading this with a
As a
microphone in
young
front
man
of him.
in school, I learned
rushing
that
a
in order to have a
Chesterfield.
fire,
yeah.
three things must be
just
available.
Pile us
I
butts
mean,
in an ashtray.
like, for
and
each
something
100
to
he
burn.
smokes, it's 3 breaths.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
And the thief might hide it in their pants. They might hide it in the trunk of their car. Hell, they might even put it under their balls, depending on what they're stealing.
This guy, yeah, he's
very relaxed. He's had several scotch before the beginning of this.
Yeah, and this is not a guy who's like prone to like running from people or avoiding confrontation. This is a very quiet guy who just quietly goes, oh, okay, and then sneaks up behind you and hits you in the head with a pipe.
Or just shoots you in the face with a .38 revolver.
Yeah, this guy's serious business.
Well, and this also is the guy that
his name's Dick Deal, so I'm sure his whole life he was having to defend himself.
Until he was 9 and had a fucking 10-inch dick that it didn't matter.
How did we get there?
Hey, took a left.
But yeah, I mean, I get what you're saying.
But he looks like a gangster that's never held a semi-automatic weapon, though. Like he's only had revolvers, right?
Yeah, and he's taking care of some business.
Remove any of the three, it's impossible to have a fire. Stealing is the same. In order to have a theft, you must have something to steal, and we have stores full of it. Someone to steal, and at 10 they'll be here unless they are already here as employees. And 3, you must have the opportunity. The opportunity is the only thing that you can remove, the only thing to concentrate on. Maybe the opportunity will arise today.
It's just amazing how there's no backing music.
No.
There's no...
It's so taut. It's like a Tarantino movie or something.
No, yeah, it's very... it's almost off-putting.
Yeah, no, it's very...
Like, if I was trying to be a cashier at Woolsworth, I'd be like, whoa.
Stores.
Yeah. No, and that's another reason why... Yeah, I don't want to spoil all the fun, like, actually watching the people shoplift stuff either, though, but But that's probably why it's such an effective video. And we may do this next. We may do the shoplifting video next week because everybody's had to watch a loss prevention video in their life. And I've never seen one where I was like, oh fuck,
kinda
that guy doesn't work here.
Yeah, like, you don't want him to be the loss prevention guy.
Yeah, like I'm not stealing, but I don't want there to be any mix-ups.
Yeah, what? I hope they don't have self-checkout.
Yeah. Oh God! Yeah,
son of a bitch.
That guy. Yeah, no, that guy'd be standing at the end of a self-checkout lane at Walmart with a katana these days.
Now, is it just me, or do you not see dudes that look like that anymore?
I don't think they last quite as long.
Well, and I think maybe it's because people dress like dipshits now.
Yeah, could be.
Well, because like the guys that we see that at that age and that size look retarded now because they have on cargo shorts and a stupid Big Dogs t-shirt.
Well, so to an extent though, but actually, yes, if you came home with me, I could take you to a place filled with guys that look like this.
Oh, because it's a part of the country.
Yeah, if there's definitely. But see, and this guy does have a bit of a southern accent. He sort of got like a Dixie Mafia kind of situation going on.
I remember
when
I was younger,
most people dressed like that. Then.
Back in that era.
You know what I mean? But yes, I can take you to some places where people are still dressing like that, and they also look stupid. It's sort of 6 of one, half a dozen of the other.
Yeah, everyone just looks ridiculous when they're 60, I guess.
But yeah, no, but I'm telling you though, this will be fun. I have so many. You can see. I mean, every one of these is a training.
Well,
video
and we need to find
kind.
Some good old like marijuana.
Yeah, some old. Yeah, some. What are those called? Pictures and stuff.
Public service announcements,
yep.
You know what I mean? Those type of things are always great, especially like some early crack or you know some ones when they were talking about shit they didn't even know what was going on yet. You know what I mean? Those are great.
You just get a little tiny peek of this guy.
From this circle, we cover.
This is John McSweeney's self-defense course.
Self-defense,
yeah.
From the outward windmill. The outward circle. We have such blocks as
I think he has there's a guy named he's always here's good. This will be a good way to wrap up the content portion of the podcast. Is one of his reenactments, one of his live. It's a live situation. This guy is standing around with a tire iron
with his sleeves pushed up.
Yeah, waiting on this guy. I mean, he killed that guy.
What you just seen could happen to anybody.
I know you've seen the guy.
I don't think he means when he says this could happen to anybody, I don't think he means someone coming at you with a tire iron. He's like, I'll do this to anybody. Yeah. That ass whooping you just saw me pretend to lay down can happen
put it
to
on anybody.
Yeah.
Just bring it.
Look at this guy. This is another good example, though, of a smartly dressed older man from 3/4 mark of the 20th century, explaining how hard he is by doing the outward windmill,
pushing some guy down.
Yeah. But yeah, actually, we did great. We're right here at an hour. But yeah, I think next week we're definitely gonna introduce Crack Rock Karaoke. We're definitely introducing that. But I do want to close things out by, not only has it been really good to see you again, like this is only your second time doing the podcast, and I think you're talking into the microphone. You're not.
Well, I really enjoy it. And I don't have any hobbies anymore because I'm sober, so this is something cool.
Yeah, you know? And you're doing fantastically too. I think this is going to work out pretty well. And again, I'm always open to suggestions. And if
any kind of stuff that I think of throughout the week, I'll just text it to you.
Just send it to me. It's all. And there's no bad ideas in a brainstorm, and the whole podcast is just a brainstorm.
Well, the only thing
bad ideas.
Well, the only thing I really enjoy is a bad idea.
Yeah, exactly. Once you have a bad idea, then you've created a problem you got to fix, and that's what life's all about, baby. Yeah. All right, everybody. Thank you for listening. Don't forget, like, comment, subscribe. ShirtCaviar.com. Promo code OGA. We're back, baby. This is gonna start happening on the regular again. You have anything for the people?
No, just
keep on.
Big dicks in your ass are hard for your health.
Oh my.
Welcome. 1 gram. 1 gram. Welcome to the
1 Gram Army Podcast.
Welcome. 1 gram. Welcome.
1 gram.
Welcome. 1 gram. Welcome to the
1 Gram Army Podcast.